Thanks. You know, I've been waiting.
Hmm?
For someone to choose me. I've been waiting. So long. For you.
What are you talking about?
It's not important. I understand now.
Well, I don't understand it at all.
The girl. She's been waiting too. For the person with her token.
Huh?
What are you doing? I think that is... Yeah, that's her. Hisoka. No, Haruka. Hisoka we haven't found yet. Guess we're not meant to fatal glance her. That sucks. Ah, it's right behind us. Thank you, map.
Ren.
It's the Veiled House.
Is someone there?
Let's go in.
Just like that video.
Yeah. Something inside of it? lies within? What is its purpose? Have others been submerged elsewhere?
Nothing, okay. Camera's pretty strong. I upgraded it quite a bit. Not that much, but still. I should have a lot of points, so maybe I can upgrade it some more. I want to increase the distance. And I want to save the rest of those points for Yuri. There's a peculiar custom in this country. It varies from region to region, but the root is the same. It is mysterious yet somehow beautiful. In order to understand it, I traveled across the country before settling in this mountain. The beauty of the morning dew, the palpable heartbreak of the sun setting behind the mountain, and the grave and solemn night that envelopes it. On the mountain, water itself is revered. But why? To try and understand this, I have made this mountain my home.
Ren, you're too late. I'm already.
Kazuya?
Really? Is that him? This is just like that picture you were looking at.
Kazuya.
I hate the pronunciation of their names, like Haruka and Kazuya. I think it's Haruka and Kazuya. It's more correct, if I remember correctly. It's exactly the same as the picture from that photo album. Did Kazuya come here too, because of it too? Looks like we can't fatal glance her. She's kind of too far from us. post-mortem photography made its way over from the West along with the spread of the camera. When photography was still rare, images of the deceased helped the surviving family members deal with their grief. The post-mortem photographs that still exist in Japan used the same methodology as their Western counterparts, but the significance seemed to differ. Those taken here in the Mount Hikami region especially seem to embody a certain melancholic beauty. I believe these photos were the work of a scientist named Kunihiko Aso. Having researched photos from the other areas as well, it seems he was the one behind many of them. His surviving records indicate a determination to use photography to capture the soul. Seeing these strange and captivating photographs, I've come to believe he had some degrees of success in doing so. An old friend of mine used to call cameras lonely boxes. I'm not sure if he meant that the subject appears trapped alone in this dark box when viewed through the viewfinder, or that looking through the viewfinder meant peering out through the dark, all alone. At any rate, I find those words have a certain resonance. Alright.
Picture.
The waters of this mountain are beautiful. A large volume of water flows from a lake at the summit, becoming rivers and waterfalls and enveloping the mountain in mist. Water covers everything. It is the source of this mountain's beauty as well as its sense of mystery. According to local tradition, Mount Hikami is where one could die a proper death. It has long been considered a spiritual spot and the subject of much worship, making it a righteous destination for those seeking death. The Mount Hikami sect taught that, upon dying, people return to water. Here on the mountain, water is considered the source of the soul. A person's soul is then said to return to water upon death, rather than moving on to an afterlife. Those ready for death would gather at the mountain and return their lives to the water. Water connects everything. To look at this scenery, I can understand how it has become a spiritual place, a place fit for passing from this world. I'm glad I came here. The people on this mountain have a yearning for death. That is to say, they have a yearning for water and a yearning for nature. Life and death are both connected to water. Alright, and let's listen to the cassette tape. Oh, this is the one we got.
The Shrine Maidens use the water as a conduit between the living and the dead. Those who come to the mountain are transfixed by death. To die is to return to the water. Water is connected to everything. The Shrine Maidens glance into the souls of the dying, taking on their final memories. Then, the Shrine Maidens become the pillars, and those memories are submerged in the water. If water really is connected to everything, then this mountain, overflowing with water, must also be overflowing with death.
Alright, and this is the door we couldn't get through on the other side. It is said that human sacrifice was once practiced throughout this region. Rather than returning people to the water upon death, the ritual involved placing so-called pillars in special reliquaries and sending them to the water while still alive. It was the role of shrine maidens to become such pillars. They would take on the memories of the dying and thereafter return to water themselves. In doing so, it was believed the subjects would continue living on as pillars. In Japan, there was once a sect of Buddhist monks who would inter themselves in boxes buried underground for the sake of enlightenment. These monks were said to show they were still alive by ringing bells and chanting. This practice may be related. But what did the maidens who became pillars fear or hope to appease? There are various teachings in Japan about where the afterlife, also known as the netherworld or the hereafter, is located. Some teachings say it is above the mountains or across the sea, where others claim it lies underground, within the very earth itself. Here on the mountain, it is said to lie within the water, implying a close link between water and death. The pillars within the reliquaries would be in a place close to death, but would go on living. Perhaps it was the special reliquaries that allowed them to evade death and continue living, frozen in time. It is thought that perpetuating these pillars allowed those close to death to live longer lives. In a sense, it was believed that proximity to death helped develop a resistance to it.
Ren!
What, girl?
The shrine maidens were sacrificed as pillars. But to what purpose? Pillars from the shrines of other mountains, too, were routinely brought in as part of this custom. But through sacrifice, what did they aim to appease? The people of this region used to practice human sacrifice. Those who had died but were revived were considered strong pillars. Being touched by death must make for a stronger pillar.
Alright. I saw the silhouette of a shrine maiden from within the mist that envelopes the mountain. With great care, she made her way slowly up the mountain. Something about her seemed somehow unnatural. I've been told there are no more shrine maidens on the mountain now. Long ago, many maidens were murdered here. Perhaps they returned to the water. Would that then imply they are trapped within the mist? Maybe. Oh, is the door open now? Okay, I had it backwards. The ghost left a notebook behind when it disappeared. Mount Hikami seems to have been both revered and feared as a mountain of death, where only those prepared to die may enter, and those who visited were never allowed to leave. Visitors to the mountain had to pass through the shrine grove at the foot of the mountain, where shrine maidens kept strict watch in allowing only the qualified, that is, the dying, to enter. Today, the shrine at this grove has been rebuilt as an inn, whose innkeeper kindly let me borrow records of the time period. The records from the shrine's final year list one individual who was able to leave the mountain alive. Kunihiko Aso. After taking his post-mortem photographs, it seems he was invited to the mountain to photograph the maidens. I have heard his research into the hereafter allowed him to develop a special camera. If I could see these photos of the shrine maidens taken within this special camera, I'm certain I could come closer to unraveling the mysteries of Mount Hikami. Then, when invited to the mountain, it is said he was allowed into a house visited only by a select few individuals. If I were invited to the mountain, would I be able to reach this place too? I truly wish I could. Kunihiko also. Was Dr. Also somehow involved in this? Mist is pouring into the room. That's not a good sign. I should get out of here. Oh, sorry. That's what became a Keiji. You can't glance him.
I made it. At last. She's waiting for me inside this house. I must hurry.
You came for me. Will you end yourself with me? After all this time.
There's a note lying where that ghost was. On the way to the summit, I found a photo in a small path lined with spider lilies. The path seemed to head into the forest, but it has become overgrown and is unpassable. Could it lead to that mansion that only the invited can find? It is different from other post-mortem photographs. I can only describe it as being beautiful. It had a beauty and a sadness unlike the others I've seen. Was she alive? As soon as I thought how beautiful she was, I was bound. I heard whispers of love from the photograph. They were the words of a curse. Love after death. I must go to that place. My heart has been captivated. Was that one of Keiji Watarai's memories? I have to get out of here. Alright, and I think it was this one.
There is a ceremony to bind doomed men with the Shrine Maidens, to keep them secure once they have become pillars. Ghost marriage. A man's fate is sealed once he recognizes a Shrine Maiden's beauty. Whispers of love come from the photographs. They are a curse. The words are a curse. And yet, my heart is drawn to one word they utter. Suicide.
All right. Oh, so not fair, doors. What the fuck? Stop doing that. And his attacks, like, are powerful too. What the hell? Rui, you okay? And there's my girl.
You will not escape.
Oh, Jesus Christ, she's huge. That is the scariest ghost in this game, the tall woman. Sega Takai Onna. And I didn't fight her in the Japanese version, but she can't attack you. I have seen it. Not in my game, but I have seen it in others. Oh look, something's here. That wasn't here before. I hate this ghost. There's just not enough room to fight her. He's on the ground. She's coming at me backwards. That's interesting. Rui, get out of the shot. Photobombing my photos. Any attack called that. Photobomb. get a Fatal Glance her this time, but in my last game, my previous recording, I did. Kyokok. It's this one. Okay, so now we can leave. Maybe.
Was that the folklorist?
I guess so.
Just what is going on in this mountain?
I'm not sure.
Is Mr. Sakaki here on the mountain too? Just like the folklorist.
Enough.
Ren and Rui set out to find the folklorist's house, relying on clues from a video recording. As they passed through the Shrine of Dolls, the white-haired girl from Ren's dreams appeared. She asked why he didn't bring her token, then vanished. Ren and Rui arrived at the Veiled house, where they discovered several of Keiji Watarai's writings on the customs and beliefs surrounding Mount Hikami. They escaped the house only to see it vanish in a thick veil of mist. Alright, so that was the 5th drop. Thank you very much for watching, and do please like, subscribe, and fave for more Fatal Frame, Maiden of the Black Water, and other videos.